Hey everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of K-Beauty and the Beast. My name is Mikkel, and I'm your host. If you work in beauty, or if you're just fascinated by the machine behind Korea's booming rise to the global stage, this podcast is for you. This is not a show about which sheet mask is best for your skin type or how to build your own skincare routine, although we might have guests covering that in the future. This is a podcast about the business side of K-Beauty, about the brands and people behind the amazing products that have made their way from Korea to the world. Welcome to K-Beauty and the Beast, the business behind the beauty. Let's start with the basics. Who am I and why should you care? As mentioned, my name is Mikkel, and I'm from Norway, but I have spent more than half of my life abroad. When I was 3, my family moved to Qatar, where I spent 7 years before moving back to Norway. And then at 15, I spent 1 year in South Africa. With a childhood abroad, I got used to seeing the world from different angles, and I developed a strong curiosity for exploring new places and new cultures. So when the time came to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, I decided to study international marketing at BI Norwegian Business School in Oslo, with 1 year abroad at Fudan University in Shanghai. I ended up loving the energy of Asia so much that I just had to stay. I needed more, and heading back to Norway was not an option. So I went on to do a master's degree in international business at Shanghai Jiao Tong University, then take it from there. And my plan was actually to stay in China, but you never know how future events may alter the course of your journey. So during my time in China, I met a Korean girl. Fast forward a few years, and I'm in Seoul, South Korea, where I've been for the last 6 years. I started my career in Korea at a company called Shaker, where I came on as paid media manager before moving on to head of marketing and later VP of Growth. Shaker helped global brands scale creative production for digital ads, especially for TikTok and Meta. It was a front row seat to the rise of short-form video, creative automation, and mobile-first marketing. We worked with some of the biggest brands in the world like Amazon, L'Oreal, Alibaba, Mercedes-Benz, and American Express. And we were official marketing partners of both Meta and TikTok. My time at Shaker gave me deep insight into how global marketing teams operate and what advertising success looks like. After Shaker was acquired, I made a pivot from tech into something I'd already been observing closely, K-Beauty. In the world of K-Beauty, I have co-founded a skincare brand called Kinspo, and I also co-founded a B2B company called K-Beauty Connect, where we help international buyers source Korean beauty products either through wholesale of existing products or contract manufacturing for their own brands, all without the headache of doing it themselves. I also help run Seoul Beauty Hub, as you can see behind me, a government-backed initiative focused on strengthening the global competitiveness of Seoul-based brands. In other words, I spend every day at the intersection of Korean beauty, global markets, and business development. And that's why I started this podcast. There's a huge interest in Korean products globally, but very little content that breaks down how this industry actually works from the inside. How do brands get into Olive Young? What does it take for a Korean brand to go global? What's the deal with OEM and ODM in Korea? What does distribution look like in the beauty world? Why are Korean products so effective and innovative? And what's it like actually to live here and do business in Korea? Those are just some of the stories that I'll be telling through this podcast. Sometimes I'll bring you into conversations with founders, buyers, manufacturers, marketers, and expats who are building a life here, and sometimes it'll just be me sharing what I've learned from the front lines. So if you're a beauty buyer or brand founder, distributor looking at Korean products, startup operator or investor, or someone just trying to understand how Korea became a global innovation hub, this podcast will help you decode the business behind the beauty. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for the next episode.